Hello, my friends. I decided to do a Soul Connections reading. I haven't done a real one in a long time. I mean, I've done real ones, but they've been about helping whoever is in a soul connection to heal, not about talking about soul connections. My focus is on helping the people in soul connections to heal because I believe that is the point of the soul connections. And since you have no control over what anybody else may do or not do, you really need to focus on yourself. That's really all you can do. But for today's reading, I pulled out my Intuit Twin Flames deck, pulled a card which could apply to anybody, honestly. You do not have to be in a soul connection for this card to apply. It says, Karmic ties, I'm not happy. Karma, behaviors, people, and or situations is playing a role in what's happening with me, and it's hard for me to see a way out. Many people go through that experience, and obviously it doesn't have to have anything to do with a particular relationship. It's more likely to be about your entire family and history and everything. But let's see who you are, because I did pull the raccoon to see who this applies to, who this reading is for. Talented, shadowy, in hiding. So I just did a reading yesterday, day before, about somebody who was very secretive. And here we have the raccoon wearing a mask. Shadowy, sound familiar? Secretive, once again, in hiding. Okay, raccoon energy is at play within all artists to a greater or lesser degree. At best, it indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Its shadow side points to an unresolved issue around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favor. Other times it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. When in balance, generous friend, exceptional artist. When out of balance, competitive, starving artist. To bring into balance, make new work. Interesting. Apparently, I'm talking to an artist. I don't know what kind of artist you are. Musician, writer, painter, cartoonist. I've known a few of those. Regardless, it's a difficult path to be an artist. All right. Back to the soul connections aspect of things. Wow. Okay. Let's see. What do you need to know about your soul connection? What do you need to know about your soul connection? Let's see. King of Wands and the Fool. The Fool is at best in a crossing position. The King of Wands at least is in the upright, so perhaps less selfish than normal. Still with a dislike for taking on responsibility. Makes them cranky, maybe. Definitely makes them feel overburdened. Oh, look at this. We have a raccoon again. Raccoon. Okay. The Seven of Swords is in reverse. So it's very interesting because we have a rising sun over here. 10 of Wands in reverse. Now, on this card, we have a beaver. Beavers, of course, are hardworking and overburdened, perhaps. But in reverse, we have perhaps someone who is not so hardworking as they need to be. Why is everything coming out upside down? And the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups represents disappointment, heartbreak, loss. It's very painful. Not without hope. But it requires you to learn the lesson, whatever it may be. And here we have a Page of Wands. A child? The High Priestess. The High Priestess is very, very good at keeping their secrets. And that is an ongoing theme of this reading so far. A King of Wands, on the other hand, is not really a big secret keeper in general. Looking at how the cards have come out. I think this mouse is laughing at the King of Wands. The mouse, of course, is the Fool. And the King of Wands is not wanting to go into the Fool's Leap. So 10 of Wands in reverse, 7 of Wands in reverse, 5 of Cups in reverse. Then we have the Page of Wands, lots and lots of wands. And the High Priestess. So if we're looking at this as a soul connection, then we would have a Page of Wands, someone who's quite immature, and a High Priestess, who is the spiritual aspects of the Divine Feminine, if you want to go with Divine Feminine. I have problems with the polarity teachings. In any case, this is nothing like a partnership of equals. Not even close. Perhaps this King of Wands is feeling very insecure, is feeling inadequate, wants to hide. This is a tiger. Tigers are ambush predators, so they do hide. Foxes are very much monogamous. However, tigers certainly aren't. Perhaps this person started out intending to be monogamous and then went down a different path. And yet, here we have the Four of Wands. So perhaps a desire for a change. But, well, the King of Wands, the Wands court cards, they are brave people. It can be the bravery of foolishness, but they are willing to take the leap. But here we have a Queen of Swords and a King of Pentacles. I'm just getting over and over again that there is a big difference between these two people. That doesn't mean it's always going to be that big a difference. Doesn't mean you can't overcome it or things can't change. People can grow and change. They do it all the time. It's not easy. It's generally not fast either, but it does happen. The question is, are you willing to take the leap, the fool's leap? Are you willing to stick with it and do the work, to face the lessons that are painful, to take up the burdens, the necessary burdens, and lay down the unnecessary ones? To be seen and to make amends, because this Seven of Swords is about lies, deceit, and betrayal. I feel like I'm reading for a divine masculine. Again, I dislike the term, but it's what's everyone's used to. Everyone knows what it means, so this is the person in the soul connection who has not done the work up to this point. Doesn't mean you can't do the work. You can absolutely do the work. It does require bravery. It requires a lot of work. Not that you should be the Ten of Wands, because the Ten of Wands person needs to know which things to let go of. But you also need to hold on to things, to take responsibility, and not just drop all your wands on somebody else and leave, because you're never going to get anywhere that way. So, Five of Cups, the painful lessons. Yes, the lessons really, really hurt. But what you may be overlooking is that there is the potential for something more, that not all has been lost. The Five of Cups, once the lessons are learned, then you can continue on your way and towards something better. Perhaps becoming the King of Pentacles. I'm not sure that's showing. No, it's not showing. Okay. So right here is the King of Pentacles. So perhaps that lies in your future when the lessons have been learned. Usually there's a castle in this card. Not this deck, but there's a castle in the distance, and once you stop stewing over the losses, I'm being unkind. Once you are ready, have recovered from your losses, then you can pick your head up, begin to look around, see the other possibilities, see the castle in the distance, and get back on your path. So these stops to learn these lessons are painful, but they are necessary. And perhaps this is the end of your path, or the next stop on your path. The King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is obviously well off. They have what they need financially. They are well established. They can provide for those that they love, and they are generous. The King of Pentacles is perhaps the last stop before becoming the Emperor. So I can understand why it's the goal that you're seeking. Well, next to this one. The Four of Wands. There is our castle. The Four of Wands representing permanent relationship. Something like marriage. It can also represent community, family, lifelong friendships. But what we're going for here is a healthy, stable relationship that's capable of enduring the ups and downs of life, as well as the growth, supporting the growth and development of the partners. So, you may not be happy. You may be feeling like karma is playing a role, and it may very well be playing a role. But don't discount that you may have some choices here that you are overlooking. There is a way out. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like. Everyone's situation is going to be different. But it involves the Fool's Leap, which requires faith and courage. And once again, there's a castle. That's a oddly recurring theme, especially since it didn't show up on the Five of Cups. But you may be very concerned with your housing situation right now. Well, I am definitely wishing you all the luck. I know that that is a very difficult issue for many people right now. Your courage will serve you well, provided you act on it. I am wishing you all the best.